You're watching Pro Direct Tennis. I'm Pete Forbes.
I'm Josh Brown.
Welcome to the Dunlop Digital Demo Day.
In today's episode, we join Dunlop on their journey to perfection
as they launched the new CX range for 2019. So in 2019, Dunlop have burst back into the scene of tennis. They've taken on the ATP ball and they've also secured the Australian Open ball. Now they're launching the CX range and they are back with a bang.
Let's throw it over to Dunlop ambassador Colin Fleming so he can show us more about the brand new CX range that Dunlop have released for 2019.
I'm here today to talk about Dunlop's new CX collection of rackets. It's a range of rackets to cater for all level of players, all the way up to tour level. So we're going to start off by having a little look at the CX 200 Tour. There's two main new bits of technology in this racket. And first of all, it's the Power Grid string tech, which just kind of increases the size of the string bed and the sweet spot, just to give you a little bit more power and spin throughout the range of rackets. And then it's also got the sonic core, which I think whenever you're getting a bit more power and spin, there tends to be a bit more vibration to the racket. So that sonic core is just going to dampen that and make it feel a little bit more comfortable on the hand. So like I said, we've got the CX 200 Tour here. It's the 18-20 string pattern, so the closed string pattern. It's the heaviest racket of the CX range. It's coming in about 315 grams unstrung and without an overgrip. So it's very much a sort of tour player's racket. It's the racket used by Kevin Anderson. I'm quite stiff, really nice racket, the kind of racket I would use when I was still on the tour. Lovely to be up at the net, serving with, probably for players with slightly quicker swing speed and playing at pretty high level. I'm using the CX 200 Tour here with the 18-20 string pattern. So it's the closed string pattern. It's definitely a stiff racket. Definitely a tour frame, you can feel that. It's got a lot of control. I can really feel the ball nicely on the strings. Get a lot of feedback from every shot that I'm hitting from this racket. And like we said, it's for that reason, it's great if you've got a decent amount of racket head speed, because you'll get a lot of power from the racket head speed and the technology in the racket, but you still get a lot of feel as well. So up at the net with this racket now, feels really nice to volley with. A lot of control and precision that you're looking for in the volleys. It's head light, so it feels nice and maneuverable. I never liked something too heavy when I was volleying because I couldn't get the reactions and move the racket. So it's a beautiful racket to volley with and be at the net. I'd have loved to play with that when I was still playing. I feel like I could put the volley wherever I want and I still get enough out of it. So we're going to have a look at the CX 200 now, which is slightly different to the tour models. This is the racket used by Jamie Murray, and the key kind of differences here, the same technology as in the tour versions, but you've got a slightly lighter racket coming in, I think 305 grams. It's an open string pattern, 16-19, so it's just a racket that's going to be a little bit more forgiving and perhaps a little bit more balanced in everything. It's going to give you a bit more power, but still, you know, nice levels of control and playability. So as I say, racket used by Jamie Murray, so I'm sure it's you know, good to be up at the net and getting those hand skills involved, and another nice racket in the CX range. So I'm hitting with the CX 200 now, which is probably the most balanced frame in the range. Still quite stiff, quite a narrow beam, so it's got a lot of control and feel still, but just gives you that little bit more than the tour model. This feels lovely in the hand. Ball's coming out the racket a lot more than the tour model. I don't have the quickest swing speed from the back of the court, or play with that much spin, so this racket probably suits me pretty well from the back. I can get a little bit more on my ball. And those new technologies feel really good. Like I say, the Power Grid string tech, making sure there's a lot of pop out the racket, the ball's really flying, giving me some help. And then you've got the sonic core, which is just dampening the vibration and still making it feel really comfortable in my hand. This is a beautiful racket. So next up we've got the CX200 LS, which is the racket used by Heather Watson. Quite similar to the CX200, it's a 98 square inch head as well, 1619 open string pattern, but it's just slightly lighter again, 290 grams, so just going to be, you know, that little bit more playable, perhaps better for players with slightly slower swing speed that want a bit more out of the racket, but you know, very similar to that CX200 and just a bit more playability than the kind of tour versions at the top of the range. So I've got the CX200 LS this time, which is essentially a lighter version of the CX200. Everything else pretty much the same. 98 square inch head and open 1619 pattern, so it's still a really nice racket, just that little bit lighter. Probably doesn't quite give you as much power just because it's slightly lighter. It's still a really nice racket. Feels very maneuverable because it's only 290 grams. So last but not least, it's the final racket in the CX collection, which is the CX400. It's the most powerful racket in the range. We're moving to a bigger head size again. It's a 100 square inch head. It's an open string pattern, 1619, so you're going to get a lot of power naturally, but remember you've got those new technologies in there as well, the sonic core and the power grid string tech, so going to get a lot of power and spin out of there while sort of, you know, dampening that vibration. And it's you know, going to be a really playable racket for players, again, slower swing speeds, want to get a lot out of the racket or as much out of it as possible, and I'm sure it'll be, you know, beneficial in all areas of your game.
I really like it actually. It gives you a good balance of power and spin.
Very nice racket, I like it a lot. It's very stable on contact, so it's easy to control.
It's overall a very nice racket. I'd recommend it for intermediates to advanced or even the most advanced players, so yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, nice to volley with, nice on-ground strokes. Felt I got a lot of pop on serve, which is nice. So yeah, it's been my favourite racket today.
Back in 2018, Pro Direct Tennis were lucky enough to attend the global launch of the CX range. Let's throw it back there now and see what went down. Hi guys, you're watching Pro Direct Tennis. It's Pete Forbes here. We are at the Dunlop launch event tonight. They've got some breaking news, so make sure you stay tuned and let's go and see what happened.
I love the company. I was with Dunlop pretty much for the last 10 years. Always had a good relationship with the people that I work with at the company, which I think for me is really important. They've always been great with sorting out the equipment that I need. My racket specs been like the same for 10 years. I've never had to worry about it, even through the changes that they've made in the technology. It's always felt the same to me, which is really important.
They supply me with everything, my rackets, not just my rackets, but my grips, my bag, my strings. They're great at helping me when I'm in a country and I'm running low on any sort of product. They're just great to send it to me as soon as I need it. I'm playing great with my racket. I feel like it complements my game because at the moment I'm trying to play very aggressive, so it gives me that control when I am hitting the ball a lot harder. So when I come to the net, it gives me good control on my volleys.
I think it really suits my game, this racket. It gives me a lot of power, but also it has control, and it's flexible racket. I like the feel of it when I hit the ball, and also the design, the color is very nice.
I love it. It's similar to the last racket I was using. It gives you power, which for my game people would normally think that wouldn't suit me. And so I actually switched to a smaller head size after talking with Kohei and saying I wanted a bit more control. But after playing with it, I switched right back to the regular 100 head size. It just fits my game better. It's not always an explanation in tennis why you prefer a certain racket, but it just works for me.
Yeah, I love the racket that I play with. When I was trying this Dunlop racket out, I got the balance and the swing weight and everything done, and it was almost identical. So it was very easy for me to pick it up and to switch to it. And I mean, I hit with it only for 1 hour and I fell in love with it. That's how I decided I was going to switch. I was like, this is the racket that I want to play with. And so it was very easy for me. I'm a field player, so I had that feeling instantly that I could do things with this racket that I wasn't able to do with other rackets. So I love it.
And that's a wrap, guys. Hope you've enjoyed watching.
And a big thank you to Dunlop for letting us try out the brand new CX range.
Don't forget to go online, check out the full spec, free racket personalization with any purchase.
We'd also like to thank Tennis Scotland and the University of Stirling for letting us use their courts here today.
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more tennis content. We're out.